Okay, so we now have our album glued together. We're gonna work on our flap. Second time's the charm. What you missed is I completely did this off camera. So this piece right here, you're just gonna take in and just snip to the edge, just in line with your die cut. And then you are likely going to have to cut some of this depth off. But you want to figure out where you want to do that. You also want to look at your holes, like your little die cut perforations on here, because there's definitely a front and a back. This is the back, and that's what we want to be on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over, kind of determine where I want it to sit, how I want it to sit. I want it just like maybe like 1/8 of an inch underneath there. So there's about 1/8 there, about 8 there. And then when you look, you can see that score, how much farther it's over. So that's about 1/4. So I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch off so it doesn't go all the way up to the score line. So the way that I'm going to do that is grab my trimmer here, and I'm going to trim it about 1/2 inch off. So just making sure that my line is straight, that my trim line is straight, because that's going to look on the inside. So I'm using these grids here to make sure. All right, so I trimmed that off, and now I'm going to adhere it. So again, I'm just going to kind of roll all this up so it's all out of my way. Figure out where I want it on here. Don't worry about the left and right overhang, because you're going to take care of that. What you do want to worry about is that you have your pattern centered. So I've got it where I kind of want it. I can see where I need to glue. I'm just going to use my little nail and put an indentation there, so I kind of see where I want the adhesive, because you don't want the adhesive to go any lower than that, because if you do, you're going to have glue hanging out. So I'm just going to put a little glue across here like that. And again, you could use your tear and tape if you want here. The only reason I'm not using the tear and tape is because this is more forgiving. So I can line it up where I want. I can make sure that I've got the same distance from here to the dots, here to the dots, which I do. I'm gonna add a little pressure there. Ta-da. Then now with my snips, I'm just gonna snip the excess off. So just line it to the edge of the envelope. Line it to the edge of the envelope. So when you die cut this, you don't have to worry about it being perfect. Okay, so we have our piece here. This is how your folder's going to go. You have your magnets, which go together. There's definitely opposing forces. So the bottom one needs to go underneath. Oops, see? They're powerful little suckers. So I'm going to take the top one and put it on here. You can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to take the bottom one and I'm going to put it underneath it, just so I can get this where I want it to be, right there. So I kind of want it in that flap. That's going to get covered up. So I'm just going to take that, put it off to the side, grab myself a glue dot and my take a pick tool that went rolling over here. And I am going to put a glue dot right where I want it to be. So I don't have to worry about, did I have my magnet going the right way? See, obviously I did not have my magnet going the right way because it tried to scoot away. So see? So I'm going to go ahead and pop that on that glue dot, get that there, get that magnet. See, that magnet's on the other side. Don't worry, it's not going to stay there. And then now we have our front assembly. We're going to cover that up. But we want to get our magnet on the inside piece here, but I don't want to do that until I have the layer of this piece. And then actually, okay, so just a little behind the scenes here. I've actually recorded this, or didn't record this once and already did it. So when I went and recut the pieces, I forgot to recut this. So this piece is going to cover here, because what's going to happen is when this comes around, this magnet is going to be sandwiched in between this layer and the flower layer. So see, here's the other one I did all pretty. Everything's hidden. right? So in order to do that, we want to get this piece on here. I'm going to do this flat only because I want it to be centered in between these score lines. So it's centered on what is going to be considered that panel of the album. Okay. Again, my favorite glue. That's like my ride or die glue. Okay, so you might not be able to see this on camera, but basically I'm centering between these score lines and top and bottom. So I put that on. And every time I've done anything, like before I glue it, I'm like, okay, let's make sure that that's where I want it to be and fold everything up. So that's why you'll see me doing that a couple times. Okay, so now that we have our magnet that's not secured but sticking through the paper there, we're gonna throw a couple. I have PTSD now, making sure it's still recording. We're gonna throw a couple glue dots right here. And we're also gonna adhere this down. So I'm just putting a couple to get a really strong bond on that. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm making sure that my album is folded. So when you're looking at that, see it's like that, see the square? And I'm gonna push it down, line it up, lift this up because now that's going to stick there really good. Again, open that up, and then I'm going to cover that with a little sticky strip just because I don't want it to go anywhere. I don't want it to fall off. So I'm going to put a little sticky strip this way. I'm going to put a little sticky strip this way. I'm going to kind of like use the tip to get in there. Use my take a pick tool. Okay. Get that. Oops. I should have taken this one off first. Oops. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that that's sticking down good. All right. So I've got my sticky strip on there. I'm again going to take this to like how it should look. That is how it looks. So that when I'm putting my piece of 4x6, which I also forgot to grab that out. So let me grab that out really quickly. Dum dum dum, dum dum dum. Because I am crazy afraid that I will like mess something up, I always order extras. Okay, so determine how you want that to go. Put your glue on. Okay. And then I'm going to center this on top of the Calypso Coral. Again, and then press it down. I'm going to do a lot of like fingers around here, getting that so it's not moving. And voila, okay? So we're going to hide this now with our embellishment piece, which is these 3 pieces. And watch me lose the other piece. Okay, so I'm not going to show you that because it's out in the garage. So what I did here is I put these 3 pieces together. This piece right here, the little square, has dimensionals. And then when I attached it, I only put sticky strip on this half of the circle to put on there. Then I added my little bow and I dropped a couple of glue dots, one over here, one over here. They probably need some up here to hold that. There's nothing about this other than looking cute. It does no function, nothing. But now you can see that we've completely hidden that assembly. Ta-da! I'm gonna have an extra album. I've got albums to give gifts. My sample has all of my granddaughter in it, so I might have to send one to her.